Alexis.
Hey.
Something seems different.
Really, it feels pretty normal around here.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that we have somebody.
We have a guest.
Person.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
We have
Glad
a guest,
to be here.
Rachel.
Super excited to have you.
Yeah.
We'll introduce yourself here in a bit, but you're here to talk about drones and things.
Drones and things. Let's
Things
make
that-
it a shirt.
Yeah, things that move on their own.
There you go.
Ooh,
Hey, that's
I like
awesome.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yes.
Where were you? You were on PTO
Where
last
was
week.
I?
You were
I
on
was.
PTO. Where did you
yeah.
go?
Went to Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, fed some animals at a zoo. I feel like I should preface.
Just out in the
Where that
wild.
was.
Wild animals?
Just walking around outside.
Are you talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Went to, I think it was like they had a petting zoo.
Oh, wow.
They had birds where you would walk in and they would like land on you. And
Oh, that's awesome.
that was a little unsettling, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it was fine. What about you?
I was good week. I had a couple days off and went to Texas. I went to Austin. I'd never been.
Okay.
I'd been to Austin. I'd flown through, or whatever, landed in Austin, toured stores in Austin, but I'd never stayed
Vacation.
in Austin. So my wife
I've
and I
never
went
been.
down there. It's awesome.
Nice.
I
It
thought
was
you were
really
going to
fun.
say that you went to the A&M Arkansas game.
Oh.
No, I didn't. There's a Texas game going on. So what's fun? So just to show you how old I am, or how old I felt on this trip. So we got our place where we were staying, like Airbnb in Austin, and we know nothing about the city. And so after the first night, I get up like at dark 30 as normal, and I walk out, and it looked like a war zone. Like we were in these condos, and it looked like cups everywhere, glasses everywhere. Clearly a party had happened at night across this whole street. My wife and I, who go to bed like at 9:30, clearly missed it.
Heavy sleepers.
Slept through the whole thing, and they did not. So they had a good time apparently.
Wow.
So we loved it though. We loved it. We did good restaurants down there. The game was going on. It was fun. It was fun.
Good.
I'd encourage people to go see it.
I'm gonna jot that down on my places to travel.
Austin,
to. Austin,
Texas.
What about you? How was your weekend?
It was great. I watched football.
Ah.
I just mentioned.
Avid sports fan.
Here we go.
Avid Arkansas fan, and this is our year. We say that every
I know,
year.
you do say that every year.
But this is actually
It feels very.
this is actually
yeah.
it.
This is the best team I've seen. I've been around Arkansas football for 20 years because I've lived around this area off and on. This is the best team I think you guys have had. For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I graduated from the U of A in 2009.
Okay.
And so the last time I remember us being sort of good was like senior year maybe, whenever we beat LSU, who was ranked. And so that was like the last time
okay.
that Arkansas was really kind of on the map. And so it's really exciting for
Yeah, they look good.
Arkansas fans. Yeah.
look good.
A little redemption.
I know. You beat 3 Texas team, DJs was telling me. 3
3.
Texas teams.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Texas 3-step is what we're calling
Oh.
it.
Texas 3-step.
Texas 3-step.
Did you watch the game?
Yes.
Good. What was
I
your
didn't.
favorite?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was going to try to like really push through that one.
I was going to ask you some detailed
I
questions.
know, which is why I said no real quick.
You backed out of that?
I
You're like,
did.
Yep.
not
Back
gonna
out of
do
that
it.
lie. Well, we're going to back out of that lie.
Yeah,
That's
no.
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we are going to jump into this, Rachel. But before we get into some of the work and really cool stuff that you're doing, I've actually been looking forward to this episode. We planned this out several weeks ago, and I want to learn more about what's going on in this space, which is drones and autonomous vehicles and all those kind of things. So we'll get into some of that fun stuff here in a bit. But before we do. Everybody at Walmart has a story of where they started. It sounded like you graduated in 2009. Did you come straight to Walmart after that, or right after you graduated, or did you do something else?
Yeah, pretty close. So I started actually in marketing.
Oh, okay.
It was an on-site vendor, and so I worked for them. They're called Ivy & Associates, and I worked on site in the marketing department for several years and then got hired on directly at Walmart from there.
Nice.
Wow.
Good for you. I interviewed with marketing when I first started, and they didn't offer me a job. But I got offered a job in the warehouse, so I took it.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
so I've had a chip on my shoulder with marketing. I'm kidding.
That's fantastic. So what did you do with marketing? What were some of the things that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, so my degree is actually in journalism,
Hey!
advertising, public relations. So I started over there doing project management and then kind of developed the marketing process after I had been doing project management for a little bit. And then from there, I went to merchandising and did kind of the same stuff, process and strategy in merchandising apparel. And then from there, I went to operations.
Wow.
And did One Best Way.
There you go.
For a bit. And then while I was there, they said, hey, let's look at this special project of autonomous vehicles. Let's see if this is going to be something.
Oh, wow.
And so we did a pickup test with Waymo, who's Alphabet's self-driving car project that was started like a decade ago. And so we did a test with them, and then it just kind of picked up to where we wanted to establish ourselves as the leader in that industry, and then tacked on drones to that. And so as things do happen at Walmart, it kind of spins up into its own role and then its own team, and, it kind of goes from there.
Wow. And here you are.
And here I am today.
Would you ever
That's so
thought
neat.
you're going to be working on drones in 2009?
Yeah, funny enough, it wasn't a degree choice
Yeah.
in school. So I didn't get to major in AVs and drones. I, picked something else.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So cool. What a story.
Yeah.
What's a story. What's been your favorite job? Obviously, probably the one you have now, but is
Yeah.
there anything else other than this one?
No, I think for sure the one I have now.
Yeah.
It's like I've always wanted to do something innovation, and I didn't know what that means, but just figuring something new and trying something that's never been done before. And it feels a little bit like a startup. And so I've kind of wanted to do that or be an entrepreneur, and this kind of lets you do that.
Yeah, sure.
But with resources of Walmart and the team of Walmart. And so it's been really awesome to be able to have kind of two experiences in one.
Yep, sure.
And speaking of like innovation and doing something that's never been done before, like how do you start that, and how do you kind of find yourself through it?
Nobody has it figured out.
That's good to know.
And you kind of wing it, as you go along. And so like I mentioned, we're lucky enough at Walmart to have a lot of really smart people around us. So it's not like I have to figure that out myself. I get to work with people that help me figure it out. And so that's what's really beneficial.
It is cool that we have these, and we're big company, and but we have a lot of these small entrepreneur type teams that are out there, and this is one of them for sure. And we have lots of others. But it's a cool experience to be able to do that, so that you can still work with, to your point, you said this really well, Rachel, you have the scale at Walmart and the resources of Walmart in a kind of a tech startup entrepreneurship type world. And so we're seeing all these things kind of bubble up, these new innovations bubble up around the company that's doing some really cool stuff. And what a cool opportunity. What a cool opportunity. What's been your biggest surprise as you've kind of gone down this journey?
I think actually what we're capable of. And so you think, oh gosh, like, the video that we show, of Zipline taking off of a platform outside of, a neighborhood market in the middle of Pea Ridge. You think that's going to be impossible. That's going to take us forever to figure out. And just like the speed at which the teams can pull together and make stuff happen, and everybody gets on board, and everybody's really actually excited about the innovation and doing something new. Change can sometimes be scary, right? But everybody's very into it and trying to help make it happen and invent the future. And so I think that's been
the speed of which you guys are moving has been fascinating to watch. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and let's
I want to see it.
Some people may not have seen exactly what you're doing. But we can start with the zip. Is it Zipline?
Yeah.
That's it. We'll pull up the videos real quick.
Cool.
All right, so walk us through. Let's start with the video on the left. What's happening?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, whenever they think of drones, they think of kind of that copter style with that vertical lift. So this is a different form factor. This is a different type of use case. So these zips is what we call them. They can go about 50 miles radius, so about the state of Connecticut. And that's there and back. And so they could go all the way to deliver to Fort Smith and back, or all the way to Springfield, Missouri and back. And then it's kind of this fixed wing plane instead of that copter style that I was mentioning. And it deploys kind of like in the same way as an air carrier. So it catapults off the top of a platform here outside of Pea Ridge.
So that's on a store. Oh, that's in Pea Ridge. Okay.
Yeah, that's
all
the
right.
one
I knew
that's
we
in
were
Pea
putting
Ridge.
one there, but I didn't know it was up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is Pea Ridge, and it's up there, and it has some kind of order that it's taken to somebody in theory, right? And so it gets filled in this store. So it could be a prescription, it could be a test, it could be whatever. And it is put in, and now it's taking off to go to a customer's house. Mm-hmm. How long does it take to get there?
So our goal is to do an order from the time it comes in to deploying at your house in like definitely less than 30 minutes, but we're shooting for 15 minutes actually.
Okay, got it. So it flies over. I'll say drive. It doesn't drive. It flies over the house.
15 minutes?
That's the goal here.
Okay, so I'm putting in an order.
Yep.
Okay, done, paid, whatever, and then within 15 minutes, it'll be there?
That's what we're aiming for, because if you think about it, like the way that I think about using drones, because, you know, I kind of go to the customer mindset, is you're in the middle of dinner or something and you need an ingredient.
That's such a good example.
Cilantro or whatever it is that's going to like make it. And so you want it fast and you want it now, or like my son's sick and I really need, you know, some children's Tylenol. I just wish that one thing would get to me really quick. So I think speed is going to be really important in this type of delivery. And so that's why we're trying to go so fast with that time from ordering to
and
whenever
this is
you get
probably, drones are probably the fastest way to get from point A to point B, right? Because you're not driving.
as the bird flies.
As the bird flies.
Yeah.
All right, so it flies over your house in theory, and it drops to, now we're in the middle video. What's happening there?
So you see the package that's dropping. That's kind of my shaky iPhone video.
Yeah.
But it's a package and it's got a parachute on it that's made out of recyclable butcher paper. And it drops and it actually lands within about 2 parking spaces of its intended drop zone. And then they're getting even more accurate day by day. And so it's really amazing at how accurate it can be to drop it, Drew, like in your backyard, or if you wanted it, you know, kind of in your front yard, that's easier for you, whatever, we can make it happen that way.
That's so cool. Isn't that cool?
That is beyond cool.
Okay, so you're acting like you've never seen this before. Is this new to you?
Never seen this.
Oh, okay.
This is so new to me. Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
feel like that's probably not a good thing since we're having you on today and talking about it.
we did invite the person that runs this to the podcast to talk to her about this.
You know, you're right. You're right, Drew. You're right. But the fact that even 30 minutes is incredible. I can't tell you how many times, like even to your example of your son, like I'm in the middle of something. I have to pack up my child, put him in this car. Like it's already just a whole ordeal. And I mean, it's incredible. So if they're launching it, do you attach like the package itself to it as it's being launched, or how does that work?
No, it's
it's inside of it.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's kind of like in the
see
belly.
the doors on that one that's swinging on the right? There's like doors underneath it.
Yeah.
That open up, so it's inside the white part.
Oh my word!
It's like a real plane.
Yeah.
How big is this plane?
It's like about 6 feet across, that wingspan.
So are you able to ship like anything GM produce as well, or is it just kind of, are you testing one area over the other?
Yeah, we're starting with health and wellness and kind of consumable products, because that's going to be like I mentioned with my sick kid, like that's going to be the most near-term use cases. But then we can easily deploy other assortment items in that whenever it makes sense.
That is so cool.
So you kind of solved the landing problem there on the right.
Yeah, so it catches. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a line across.
It's kind of like a aircraft carrier or whatever, right?
That's so neat.
Yeah, and so it's got a tail hook on the end of the drone, and then it catches, and the line snaps up and catches the tail hook.
You know how precise that has to be?
Within 2 inches.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Is there stuff on the apparatus there that leads it in?
No, I mean it's just got to hit it the right.
Okay.
It can hit anywhere like about this far on the tail, and then it kind of goes into the hook.
All right, so let's talk about who flies these things. Do they fly themselves, or is there somebody flying them?
No, they're autonomous. We do have flight operators, which are pilots that are on site, and so they manage a lot of like the pre-flight operations to do the checks and things like that. So we have them on site, but the drone flies itself, understands the wind, the package release, all of that can happen autonomously.
Now Is it actually delivering things, or are you still testing it?
We're in testing phase at this time. I mean, we're working really closely with our providers in the FAA, and so it's kind of this crawl, walk, run approach with the FAA.
Sure.
So you want to show, we're doing this really safely, we're following all the rules, and so we start with test, and then you can kind of expand out from there after they feel good about it. That's
so cool. So this is going to be a special use case. So you're not going to get all your groceries delivered.
You're not going to get your milk and eggs this way.
Yeah, exactly. But there are things that you need right away. And so this is going to help solve for that. And with a 50-mile radius, you could have 1 or 2 stores that services a huge area.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I can think of tons of instances every day where I just forgot to put it in my weekly order, and you're like, oh, I need that one thing. And I just wish I could tag it on or get it right now. And this is perfect for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
this
cool.
is so neat. I feel like this drone is a little bit smarter than me at certain things. Testing the wind, knowing that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
So neat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
Wow. And so it's in Pea Ridge. Is it on top of the store? Is that what you said?
It's right next. So the roof, it's a little bit taller than the roof.
Okay.
But
it's a platform.
It's a
platform,
platform. Right? Yeah.
Wow.
I'd actually like to go see it. I haven't seen it.
This is so neat.
How does it know where to drop? Is there something that you put on in your backyard or your front yard that it knows it's there, or it just knows based on location?
Good question.
It'll do like some pre-scouting. That's kind of what we're doing right now. And then it knows the exact spot based on latitude, longitude in your yard that it should drop.
Because obviously this is on the leading edge of technology as well as regulation with the FAA and others.
I think it's actually less technology and adoption and more about regulation that you just hinted on, because so the FAA is regulated at a federal level.
Got it.
And then the AVs are regulated right now at a state-by-state basis. And so that's why in Arkansas, we get to test with a company called GADIC. That's why in Arizona, there's kind of a hotbed of testing out there with, all the AV companies that are there. Waymo, Neuro, Cruise that we've made an investment in earlier this year. So there's a ton going on out there in Arizona. And that's what they did is they had an executive mandate from their governor come down that said you can test here.
Got it.
So it's been really easy to test.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell which way is going to win, or which way is going, because there's a use case for both, obviously. But it may be from a technology perspective, you would think it'd be easier to fly a plane or fly a drone than it would be to do an electric car or a car that has to weave in and out of traffic and all of the complications. I would guess it'd be easier. And stoplights.
Sorry. That's where I went to.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and with AVs, a lot of people don't realize, but they actually have to pre-map an area in order to understand where the vehicle is at relative to the environment. And so that takes some time too, obviously. And so that technology needs to improve and get faster so that we can really do that at scale.
Got it.
As we roll that out.
Yeah.
Can we pull up the picture of the AV? All right, so this is the one that's in town. And I think, do you have it in other places or just here in Arkansas?
No, it's here and it's also in Louisiana.
Louisiana, okay. You want to talk a little bit about what this is and what they do?
Yeah, so we have these things, they're called Hubspokes, and we pick from one location and then we move that customer order to another location that the customer will ultimately pick up from.
Got it.
So we do that here in Bentonville. It's a pretty short route, it's a mile, but again, we want to start, slow, start small, and then figure it out and then make it grow. And then we moved to Metairie, Louisiana, which is around New Orleans. And so we have a 20-mile route there. And so a couple years, after we deployed this here in Bentonville, we added Louisiana on. And so what makes that really attractive for an AV is that constrained route. And so they're going to just drive that over and over again. They're not driving all over town. So that mapping that I just mentioned, it's really easy to know, like the leaves, that are on that picture. It can understand that tree, even though it looks a little bit different, it's still that tree that is on the corner of, Main Street and Walton.
So it uses landmarks like me to travel.
Yeah, it's got this, it's called point cloud, and it understands like buildings, like that LiDAR that's on the top there captures a lot of information out all around it. And so that's what goes into building that map that it then can drive by.
So it's really a point-to-point type solution. So That's kind of the hub and spoke.
The hub and
so
spoke,
It
that's
drives very similar routes over and over.
That's right.
Is it driving, when I see it in town, is it driving autonomously or?
Yeah, and now, so what we did recently, we just got approval from the Arkansas Highway Commission to remove the driver. And so sometimes you'll see these things driving around and we have safety operators in seat.
Yeah.
They'll say, I thought it was driving itself. Why
Yeah,
is there
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
in there?
yeah.
And the answer is, we still have a person in there until we feel really good about the route and it's operating great. And so we just got approval based on the data to be able to remove the driver. And so now whenever you see it driving around town, Drew, it's not going to have anybody in the driver's seat.
Okay.
And so,
because I pass it like daily.
Yeah.
It's like right by where I live.
So if you can do it at a stoplight, just kind of glance over, and it's pretty bizarre to not see anybody in the seat.
Wow.
And so it's carrying multiple orders. It's not just one order. Then.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Got it. Is it cooled inside in the back?
Yeah, so it's got a reefer unit on it. So it's got, anywhere from like 10 to 15 customer orders back there that are being moved over to be picked up at the other location.
That's so cool.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like a kid in a candy store. Like, this is so cool.
If you could get a drone or a robot of some sort to do anything in your life other than what we're talking about, what would you choose?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I really enjoy being in the car by myself because as a parent, that is like my me time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like schedule things that I don't want to schedule.
Schedule things.
Like calling a doctor's office or something to I hate that.
Like an assistant, like a robot assistant.
Yes.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would. What about you?
I want like a souped up Roomba. So I'm like, that's great. You can vacuum, but clean the bathroom. Like, why are you stopping there?
Yeah.
Like, there's other stuff I need you to do.
Absolutely.
Why are you stopping there?
Yeah.
So I have a question. As you're testing these really cool things, what does that process look like? How long does it last? What kind of goes into it? Or how long does it usually last before you feel comfortable to be like, let's go for it?
Well, I think we use data a lot. And so the metrics in AVs are called miles per disengagement. But it's not a perfect metric, but it basically means how often you have to interact with the vehicle to help it.
Oh.
And so, if the vehicle doesn't understand something, it doesn't understand, a stop sign or something, which, that's kind of a rudimentary case, but it doesn't understand something that it's seeing.
That's really cool.
And so that can help it to say, that's why the driver's in seat to help it along. And so whenever you get to a really safe miles per disengagement, then you can, feel good about going to the next step. And every provider, so we don't manage that as Walmart. That's with the provider because they're the experts, right?
Yeah.
To be able to, whenever they feel safe and they've met their requirements, to make that next step.
All right. So we doing any other tests? So we talked about the zip line. We talked about this, which is a point-to-point system. Anything else that you're testing out there?
Yeah. So we a couple ones with autonomous delivery is we're doing Cruise out there in Scottsdale, Arizona. So you could get your groceries delivered by an AV. We talked about milk and eggs earlier.
Right.
That's hard for drones to deliver, but an AV could do that. And so Cruise is we've been working with them for months now since early this year, and then we made an investment in them this summer because we've been so impressed with them.
And they're a small startup. Where are they located?
Well, they were acquired by General Motors.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're located in San Francisco, but they've got that OEM tie, which is really important.
Yep.
And so we've been working with them for a while, and then we just announced recently a partnership with Ford and Argo to do this in 3 markets, to do autonomous delivery in 3 markets in Miami, Austin, and Washington, D.C.
There we go.
Yet another reason to visit Austin.
Yeah, Drew, you could have gotten your...
Oh, should have. That'd be great.
Wow, that's so cool. How do you lead a team of individuals in a space that is kind of abstract, in a gray space where you're having to think about, the impossible almost?
I think hiring people that are very different from you helps that. So I think it would go back to like the hiring. So I'm not going to hire someone with a journalism degree. I don't need more Rachel Griffins. I need somebody totally different. And so that helps you kind of balance out the team to say, like, what do we need to do to move this forward?
Yeah.
With those different perspectives. Like, I have an engineer on my team that used to do traffic management and things like that, Manu. And then Jonathan on my team is a veteran and had experience with drones in the Army. I haven't had that. And so by pulling in these people that have different experiences and, you know, can bring another perspective, that's what makes the team stronger as a whole and can help move forward really quickly.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so cool. That's good. What are some lessons that you've learned over this past few years from a leadership perspective? Is there anything that pops out on how you've had to change the way you lead? Because you're in a very dynamic space that's constantly changing, and it's very undefined, right? And so probably one of the most undefined spaces we have, and it takes I've found it takes a different type of leadership in that space than in a space that we know really well, where things are always the same, it's repetitive, and it still takes leadership for sure, but it's a different type of leadership. It's not one harder than the other, it's just different, but it's different styles and different techniques. Have you thought about your leadership in that dynamic way that you have to do things a little bit differently?
I think I probably would have to say I have to be more open-minded than I've ever been before. And so I may come in with an idea of how I think it should be done or, you know, an idea of what we should do. And then I don't need to zero in on that or settle on that quickly, because that could be wrong. And so keeping an open mind, you know, to allow other ideas to come in and actually seeking other ideas to come in. And actually not sharing my idea first, trying to get others to give their opinion first, so that all opinions go on the table, and then we can decide the best way to move forward or what to do. That's
right. That's so good. Yeah, it's you know, the value of having multiple people on a team is different perspectives, right, and different ideas, and it's this idea of iteration. And so one person may have one idea, and then you kind of build upon it. And that's how you solve really hard problems. Very seldom does somebody solve a hard problem by themselves, right? Because it's bigger typically than one person can do. So that's awesome. Good. What else do we have in store? What's the future look like in this space?
Well, my vision is, you know, what I talked about earlier. So I wake up and I don't have, you know, I'm out of diapers, and I can just pull out my Walmart app and click that, and I can get it, you know, within the next 30 minutes or 15 minutes and have it delivered, you know, before I have to take my son to daycare. Sure. Like, being integrated in customers' lives that way is what I think is really powerful for us to be able to not just like be a part of their lives, but change their lives. Sure. Think about the way that we can improve lives with technology. Yeah, sure. And that's what all this is for. Yep. And so, you know, if we can get it to you faster, we can get it to you easier. You save time. You know, we always talk about saving the customer time right now. Everybody's time strapped. So if we can help give these solutions to improve their lives in some way, I think that's really what it's about.
What I love about this too is as we do this, we create new jobs. And so probably the first time ever at Walmart, we have drone pilots. Right? Yeah. And we're going to continue to find new and innovative ways to create fun new technologies, but also new roles within the company. And we see that over and over and over. As things begin to migrate, we continue to create new roles, new jobs. A good example of that is our what we call our digital work group inside of stores, and they're the teams that pick orders for customers. So almost like personal shoppers. That role really didn't exist several years ago, not at scale. Right. And now we have tens of thousands, over 100,000 associates that are doing that role. That didn't even exist a few years ago. And so as this technology continues to drive innovation, we're starting to see new roles form. And I love the idea of these drone pilots. How cool is that, right?
Yeah, it's been, I remember I was traveling to Georgia for, it was a work trip. And it was actually creating a video for a delivery driver for Walmart. So kind of like, what does that space look like? Here's kind of a cool behind the scenes of what it would look like if you were interested in that role. And I remember thinking, wow, this is kind of crazy. like somebody is going to deliver my groceries. And now moving from that to possibly having somebody enter your house to put it in your fridge, to here's a drone, here's somebody that you don't even need to be in the car, and here's your stuff. It's crazy
It is
how it's
fast
just,
it's changing.
yeah. I feel like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
So fast.
And the number of options available. So, I mean, like, if you think about that, I could have my weekly groceries delivered to my fridge.
Yes.
And then, you know, you could have a dinner party where you're getting an AV bring you those items. And then, oops, you forgot an ingredient. So you need a drone to bring you that.
That's crazy.
You just have a plethora of options.
It's not going to be one option, right?
Yeah. And people ask me, you know, I had friends who asked me that, you know, whenever our pickup and delivery business was taken off, is, do you think people are not going to shop in the stores?
Yeah.
And I'd say no, because I've got friends that you could not take them out of the store. They love it. That's like their time. You know, they like go and they want to like look at everything. They want to think about what they want to cook. And then you have some people that do pick up on their way home from work or, you know, whatever. And then some people that don't want to leave their house, get delivery. So, I mean, it's all these different things that the customer ultimately gets to decide.
Sure.
And we just get to be the ones that give them all the options.
I think we're also finding that customers do all things. They don't just do one thing.
That's true.
Right. So
that's true.
you may order your basket online to be delivered to your house, which that's what we do. But we're also in the store a lot right throughout the week to pick up the odds and ends. So customers are doing multiple different types of trips and different delivery options, which is kind of how you stated, right? There's going to be all of these different ways of getting what you want when you want it. And you know, it's cool that we're leading or you're on the cutting edge of some of this stuff, which is great. So we have a lot of folks listening to this in stores and not in stores around the company and outside the company that may be looking at your job and saying, wow, what a cool job. And I want to do something like that someday. And Walmart is a place of opportunity with all the jobs that we have, but also the promotions, and anybody can do anything if they put their mind to it. What advice would you give to those listening that may want to do either something different in the company or even grow within the role that they're in and take on more responsibility, as you clearly have? Any advice you would have for them?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's what I did. Like I said, Walmart's a place that you can kind of have multiple careers. And so I've been in marketing, merchandising, operation, and now supply chain.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, if there's something that interests you, to reach out to someone in that area. I've done a ton of, you know, cold calls or, you know, cold reach outs to understand what somebody does and if that's a fit for me. And then if you have these transferable skills, so if you're really good at project management, you can be in project management in a lot of different areas. Right. You don't have to stay in marketing, which I liked marketing. I didn't have the experience you did, Drew. I'm sorry.
Thanks, marketing. But I'm still scarred 20 years later.
I know. Got a chip on your shoulder about that one. But you know, if you're really good at something, you can probably apply that to other things. And so I would also encourage people to find out what you're really good at and really passionate about, and what makes you excited to come to work, and almost like make a list and then see if there's something else that excites you.
That's right.
You know, how could I apply these things that I'm already good at to that role? Like, what could I bring to that role? And, you know, I found in the company, people are more than willing to lend an ear and give you advice. And so reach out and, you know, be able to bring something to that. Yeah. So what you've read online or, you know, an article you found, and start a conversation.
That's right. That's so good.
That's really great.
Yeah, because there's so many different opportunities. I like this idea of transferable skills. Leadership is a transferable skill. Solving problems is a transferable skill. And you can use it in a lot of different areas. And you do have to show a little initiative. You have to put yourself out there and try something different. But the opportunities are endless. So anyways, well, Rachel, you're clearly making a difference, not only with our company and with our customers and our associates, but literally in the way that the world works.
Yeah.
You're making a big difference. So thank you for what you're doing. We truly appreciate your time. We know you got a lot going on.
Yes.
Flying planes.
That's right.
Getting cars to drive by themselves. So all kinds of stuff going on. But I want to say thank you for your time and thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Ditto.
All right. Have a great day.